Hey guys, welcome into SportsMap.com as we consistently get you updated content talking about the hot topics in Houston sports. AJ Hoffman with me again today. A lot of people are getting into the whole basics of what's going on with the Astros going forward. How much money are they going to spend? Are they going to spend a majority of their effort trying to bring back George Springer, focused on Carlos Correa eventually being a guy that they want to hang on to? But is there a case to be made as they head into this offseason coming up that Michael Brantley and or Yuli Gurriel should be priorities as well because of their signability, their reliability, the fact in Yuli's case he can play multiple positions, and Brantley seems to be a guy because he's not exactly in the prime of his career, you could get at a decent price. Should there be as much or at least a lot of focus on those two guys as well as their big names?
There should be some discussion about it. I think the difference is when we've talked about should you sign Springer or Correa long term, those have been discussions about signing someone for 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer. I don't think you're going to sign Yuli or Michael Brantley to that sort of a 4 or 5 year mega deal. They're both up there in age a little bit, but absolutely you should be discussing signing them because, quite frankly, they've been the two better players so far this year. I mean, Michael Brantley, I think, is the only guy, only everyday player hitting 300 right now for the Astros. Yuli has been really a professional hitter since he's been here. I mean, he is what he is defensively, but the guy is a solid bat in your lineup. And you're right, he has been very consistent, whereas those other two guys have been on and off the field. And because of their pedigrees, they're going to cost you more. Because of their age and their agents, for that matter, they're going to cost you more. So I would certainly, I think that they're two different discussions. I think they are looking at Michael Brantley and Yuli. I just don't think they're looking to keep them, beyond three years from now, whereas those other guys, you're probably going to see one of them get locked up long term here as an Astro.
And the other thing is money talks. So in the case of Yuli Gurriel, if he's going to be affordable, he likes Houston, he loves the guys in the locker room, he, again, not in the prime of his career. If he's not looking to break the bank and he wants to keep doing what he's been doing, I'm sure they'd love to have him back. Brantley's a guy that not real outspoken, doesn't want to play in a big media market, it wouldn't seem, and kind of likes winning and his teammates in the locker room. That plays a factor as well.
Yeah, and I mean, those are two guys that you want in that clubhouse, and I'm sure behind the scenes you'll hear every Astro say, I love all my teammates, but I think they truly do love Michael Brantley and they truly do love Yuli. Not that they don't truly love, I think George Springer, a lot of people call him the heart and soul of that clubhouse. So, and Carlos is what he is. So he's got friends in there as well. So it's not that any of these guys are, clubhouse pariahs, but I do think that Michael Brantley, just being that veteran guy who's been there and done it, and Yuli, who, like I said, he shows up, he does his job every day, and he does it well. I think there's a lot of respect for those two guys in that clubhouse.
No question. I want to get to the challenges of free agency and trying to bring free agents in here to Houston. Before we do that, give us a word from our sponsors that we love here at ESPN 97.5 and SportsMap.com, Boomer Naturals.
Yeah, Boomer Naturals. I've got mine right here. Guys, this is it's the best mask. It's got the 3 layers, nano silver woven into the fabric, so it's going to protect you from the droplets and basically protect you from the virus. You've got to wear a mask anyway. You might as well wear one that actually protects you, and that's what Boomer Naturals does. You can go to boomernaturals.com. You can use my promo code Hoffman, or you can use the promo code Joel, and you'll save 20% on your order. Or now you can go into CVS. Every CVS in the country will have Boomer Naturals waiting there for you. That's boomernaturals.com.
We do love those masks. They're comfortable and breathable, as well as doing exactly what you need them to do. Okay, let's get back into this Astros conversation, AJ. Look, regardless of what happens this year, and we've been talking about how the Astros go forward and the guys that might be free agents, you're talking about guys in your own building. And now also James Click has a challenge on his hands because he hasn't really made a signature move yet. What's he going to be known for? Is he going to be able to bring free agents into Houston? And if he does talk to a free agent, does he have to go above and beyond? Not Bill O'Brien-esque per se, but do you have to overpay or over-convince a player outside of who's been with the Astros in the last 3 years to come to Houston to play because of the cheating scandal and everything that's gone with it?
I don't think that's the case right now. I don't think the cheating scandal will really affect that because guys want to go where they feel like they've got a chance to win, and they want to go where they can get some decent coin. And if you're offering fair money, and it's between the Astros and the Mariners, most of these guys, at least veteran guys, they're going to want to play here where they've got a better chance of winning. So I do think that eventually, when Justin Verlander leaves, when Zach Greinke leaves, maybe it's tougher to bring free agents in. I think now if you're offering fair market value, there's going to be plenty of free agents interested in being here.
Don't you feel like because of the cheating scandal too, yes, there's going to be a lot of onus on James Click to make the right moves and to make the team better. But basically, almost as important as James Click are the guys that have been on the roster from 2017 through this season, because of the fact that when guys are free agents and they're going, should I go to Houston or should I go somewhere else? You're going to talk to guys you know inside that locker room who can tell you how the culture is and exactly how it is to be an Astro.
Well, I think the way negotiations go with some of these guys coming up are going to tell you a lot about what people think of the Astros. If George Springer and Carlos Correa end up going somewhere else, I think people may shy away. But I do think that there are guys here who you can talk to who would speak to. It's been a good thing. It is very difficult to say though, because you're talking about guys who they've just now started working with this James Click. So it's not like they can say, oh, yeah, he's been great to us for years. That's not the case like it was with Jeff Luhnow. It's not the case like it was, with A.J. Hinch. It is sort of a new regime right now, and you are going to have to sell it to guys if you're a guy who's been in this clubhouse, because neither one of this manager nor this GM were here back in 2017, 2018, 2019 even. So it is a little bit more of a sell job than it would be had the regime stayed the same.
And that's why I said I think from a everyday player perspective in the lineup, you're going to look to the Correas, the Altuves, the guys that have been there, done that, even a Springer if he sticks around, to kind of convince other guys to come here, or in the case of Brantley, stay here because Springer and Brantley are tight. But even a guy like Brent Strom, been there and showed the results. Garrett Cole goes to the Yankees, he gets all the money, but he hasn't been the pitcher he's been with the Astros. And maybe from at least the perspective of free agents going, hey, how do I want to take the next step in my career, be the next Charlie Morton, be the next Garrett Cole? Well, I've got a guy in a pitching coach that seems to know what he's doing, and he seems to be able to elevate guys' careers. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, if I'm a middling starting pitcher, or a guy who was a prospect that hasn't quite panned out, I'd probably take a little bit less money to get a year or two with Brett Strom and see what I can do. And if you can change things up, if you can make something out. Now, mind you, it takes a certain kind of pitcher that the Astros are looking for too. You've got to have certain stuff, as they would say. But if they can I do think they're going to get the most out of it. So if I was a pitcher, a free agent pitcher that wasn't a Clayton Kershaw or a Max Scherzer, an established guy, I would certainly look at the Astros as a destination because of what they've done with pitchers recently.